The human heart is a muscular organ designed to pump blood continuously throughout the circulatory system, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues while removing carbon dioxide and metabolic waste. Central to this function is the heart's role as a dual pump, circulating oxygen through two distinct but interconnected pathways: the pulmonary circulation, where blood is oxygenated in the lungs, and the systemic circulation, which delivers oxygenated blood to the rest of the body. Now, before we go into how this works, let's look at an overview of the anatomy of the heart. The heart is divided into four chambers: the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, and the left ventricle. These chambers are separated by valves that ensure unilateral blood flow. The tricuspid valve is found between the right atrium and the right ventricle. The pulmonary valve is found between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. The mitral valve, also called the bicuspid valve, is found between the left atrium and the left ventricle, while the aortic valve is found between the left ventricle and the aorta. The right side of the heart manages the oxygenated blood from the body, while the left side of the heart manages oxygenated blood from the lungs. Now, this is very important if you want to understand this step-by-step pathway of blood flow. So for the step-by-step pathway of blood flow, let's start with number 1, the venous return to the right atrium. The oxygenated blood from the systemic circulation returns to the heart through the two large veins: the superior vena cava, which drains blood from the head, the neck, the upper limbs, and the thorax, and the inferior vena cava, which returns blood from the abdomen, pelvis, and upper limbs. Additionally, we have the coronary sinus, which collects the oxygenated blood from the myocardium itself and empties directly into the right atrium. So at this stage, the blood is low in oxygen and rich in carbon dioxide. And this takes us to step number 2, the right atrium to the right ventricle. From the right atrium, the blood passes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. The tricuspid valve is composed of 3 cups anchored with the cordia tendineae attached to the papillary muscles. Now, these structures help to prevent backflow of blood into the atrium during ventricular contraction, also called systole. Then step number 3, the right ventricle to the pulmonary circulation. During ventricular systole, the right ventricle contracts, propelling blood through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary trunk, which then quickly divides into the right and the left pulmonary arteries. Now, these arteries carry the oxygenated blood to the lungs, which is a unique situation since arteries are normally known for carrying oxygenated blood. In the lungs, the blood flows through the smaller arteries, arterioles, and capillaries surrounding the alveoli, and here gas exchange occurs. Oxygen diffuses into the blood, while carbon dioxide diffuses out into the alveoli to be exhaled. And then this takes us to step number 4. Oxygen-rich blood then travels back to the heart through the pulmonary veins. There are typically 4 pulmonary veins, 2 from each lungs, which empty into the left atrium. These veins are the only veins in the body that carry oxygenated blood. And then step number 5, the left atrium to the left ventricle. From the left atrium, blood flows through the mitral valve, also called the bicuspid valve, into the left ventricle. Like the tricuspid valve, the mitral valve also has the cordia tendineae and the papillary muscles that helps to stabilize the cups during ventricular contractions. And then step number 6, the left ventricle to systemic circulation. The left ventricle has the thickest walls of all the heart chambers, and this is because it must generate enough pressure to pump blood through the entire systemic circulation. During systole, the left ventricle contracts forcefully, ejecting blood through the aortic valve into the ascending aorta. From here, blood is distributed via the aortic arch into major arteries that supply the brain, the upper limb, the thoracic organs, and eventually the lower body. So in summary, blood moves from the body into the superior and inferior vena cava and then into the right atrium. Then from the right atrium, it passes through the tricuspid valve into the left ventricle. And then from the right ventricle, it passes through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary arteries. And then from the pulmonary arteries to the lungs. Then from the lungs, the pulmonary veins carries the blood into the left atrium. And then from the left atrium, the blood passes through the mitral valve and then finds itself into the left ventricle. And then from the left ventricle, the blood passes through the aortic valve into the aorta, and then from the aorta to the body. Now this cycle repeats itself continuously, ensuring oxygen delivery and waste removal.